I think it's an inmate safety issue, as well as it can be a detention officer issue.
Forsyth County Chairman Don Martin says inmates are in danger and so are detention officers. Faulty and old jail cell locks are part of the reason why.
It's very easy with that old lock to reclog it and stop it so that it shuts, but then you can pop it open. That's very easy to do.
Martin paid a visit to the jail last month after commissioners had a chance to see how the locking mechanisms work. He learned how inmates are able to bypass the locks with simple objects, like a cap from a shampoo bottle.
You can take the top of a shampoo bottle and just palm it in your hand and just stick it right into the side, into the locking mechanism. It'll shut because it pushes on the plastic, but then it's very easy just to bust it open or pop it open.
He says replacing the locks makes sense, and he's ready to start getting bids for this project ASAP, especially after a captain told him about a close call.
Literally walking down in front of cells, and all of a sudden one popped open, boom. And the inmate said, "Oh, I didn't see anybody else. I just thought, didn't see it." But I mean, it happens. And those certainly can create, safety issues.
Safety issues were some of the reasons why 12 Investigates asked the sheriff about the jail locks in October of last year. Here's what he said then.
Of course, there were some times where people popped out. That happens all over. That happens in the federal system. And when it happens, guess what? It's corrected.
Have you made an effort to get those locks replaced?
Come on.
How long has the command staff known about those issues?
Every time that we've known about them, they send maintenance over there and redo the cells.
Nearly 1 year later, Martin says more maintenance is still needed, just as badly as they need detention officers.
I saw the evidence of, clearly of staff shortages.
During his visit, Martin was able to look at a duty roster. He says only the bare minimum positions were staffed. Instead of 4 officers in the control booth overlooking 4 different areas of the jail, there was only 1. Martin says the staffing shortage, paired with the lock issues on the inmate cells, is a dangerous combination for jail officers.
They can get out and resolve an issue, but not sometimes before, somebody gets hurt. So there's risk. Clearly there's risk.
Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough gave 12 Investigates a tour today, and it was actually the first time any media outlet would have this type of access. Some of the jail was still off limits when it came to video, but one thing we did record was just how easy it was to pop the locks.
That's secure and locked. Ain't no way to get out of it, right? Got my little note. They can take a piece of paper, cardboard, whatever, just slide it down, use it like a credit card, and now they're out. That's how easy it is. That's what's called popping out.
Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough says a new $2 million locking system that was recently approved by county commissioners will help keep inmates inside their cells. On a jail tour Tuesday, Kimbrough said the new system will now give guards a heads up, allowing detention officers to be more proactive.
The new lock system, remember I told you that when you start tampering with them, the electronic features on them will let you know, and the hardware is totally different to where it will crush something like that.
Sheriff Kimbrough says right now 756 inmates are locked up at the Forsyth County Jail. He says hearing about locks being popped isn't too alarming, despite the danger county commissioners have said it creates for detention officers.
You're going to have issues like that because you have a population that is sitting around all day figuring out how do I manipulate, whether it's the lock, whether it's whatever it is.
I think it's an inmate safety issue, as well as it can be a detention officer issue.
Kimbrough says around August, they started assigning maintenance crews to make rounds every other day, clearing out the old and faulty locks that may have been tampered with.
We have a team going around checking the guts of the lock, making sure they're clean.
He hopes the new locks will cut down on the number of escapes. Kimbrough says the new ones will begin being installed in about 3 months, with crews changing 700 doors in total, replacing only 3 locks per day. That's at least a 7-month-long project. Forsyth County Commissioners Chairman Don Martin said Tuesday beginning the lock replacement process in 3 months is possible, but ultimately no dates on replacing the locks have been set. Although the timeline for this isn't 100% the same on both sides, the sheriff is grateful.
That demonstrates that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. We're grateful for what the commissioners are doing now. Money is resources are being spent here in this building. And so, you know what, I'll attribute that some to your reporting that you've done, because a lot of times when the public gets behind that, that's a game changer.
Beyond the locks, another thing that will change, all thanks to 12 Investigates, is a visit from the Forsyth County Grand Jury. In fact, today, the Sheriff's Office announced that this coming Monday, the Grand Jury will visit the jail and inspect it. The last time that was done was back in 2019. In Winston-Salem, I'm Devontae McKenneth, WXII 12 News. We spoke to an inmate who was in the Forsyth County Jail for 20 days, and we spoke to an inmate who's still in jail right now and has been for almost 2 years. Despite the difference in time spent at the jail, the stories and the details they share with me are quite similar.
Oh, it's terrible. Showers are flooded with a lot of bugs. Some of them stopped up. Some showers leaking in. Some dude's room, like the maintenance won't come around and fix nothing, man.
That's the voice of Franklin Mosley. He's been at the Forsyth County Jail since February of 2022 and is awaiting trial. He says conditions in the jail are unsafe, dirty, and unhealthy, and some concerns won't be addressed because of an issue 12 Investigates has exposed once before. Here's what he says detention officers have told inmates.
They said the maintenance dudes, they scared to come around and fix things because the locks on the doors and stuff. So they ain't fixing nothing.
Mosley says what we saw on that jail tour doesn't depict what inmates are actually living through. They're living in the same areas that were off limits to our cameras.
We ain't had no cleaning supplies. We just really finally got tissue up here. Don't got no soap.
He's not the only inmate to address sanitation issues either.
My cell 4 in C dorm had black mold in the commode. They did not clean. Also, there was rust in the floor. There's been maggots in her cell for 2 months.
Cleanliness within the cells is one story. LaTanya Daniels Hernandez says her story gets a bit more personal.
They knew that I had issues with my colon prior, and I was told, you're a woman, you on yourself, you deal with it, you wear it, and we're not giving you no clean clothes, and you're not taking a shower.
12 Investigates brought all of this in front of the sheriff. He said neither he nor his command staff have never been made aware of these issues.
You probably hear a lot of rumors, The thing that I would tell you is that I've always been a fact check guy, right? We always have this thing in God we trust, everything else we investigate. So I gotta have facts.
Despite allegations of filthy conditions from multiple inmates, the sheriff says we must be mindful what this building really is.
This is a detention center. It's not the Ritz-Carlton. It's not the Embassy Suites. It's not even the Motel 6. It's a detention center.
A detention center with more than 700 people living inside, some of them contradicting the top cop, who says he needs facts.
Like you saw me walking in and out of those cells with those guys, right? That's a regular thing that I do.
Man, somebody ain't coming through this jail, man. He just making rules downstairs. He ain't coming through no jail.
After our jail tour, 12 Investigates learned that a Forsyth County grand jury would be inspecting the jail, the first time since 2019. We are still waiting to get our hands on that report, and we'll be sure to share those results with you. For 12 Investigates, I'm Devontae McKenneth.
Thank you, Maria. Forsyth County Commissioners unanimously approved a contract to fix locks at the Forsyth County Detention Center. It's an issue first exposed by 12 Investigates, and commissioners approved nearly $2 million for this project, although they were hoping there were more bids for the project. In October, WXII got a tour of the jail where staffers showed us how easy it was to pop the locks.